What's going on, everybody? It's Brian Buffington, and today we're talking about value. And if you've ever been in one of my workshops, you've ever been in one of my trainings, ever been in one of my keynotes, you know I'm all about bringing value to the people I work with. And I want people to be the ones who bring value to the people they work with too. It just makes total sense wherever you are. So I've got 3 special tips for all my teacher friends. Say, hey, how can I bring value to the classroom right now to get my kids interested in what I'm learning? Number 1, super simple, just be relevant. You know, what that means though is that if you're not staying in tune with what's going on in the world around us, you are having a very hard time being relevant, especially in pop culture. Yes, you may watch the news, you may look at the weather, and those are types of relevancy, but it's not what the kids are into necessarily. So let me give you an example. I'll give you 2 examples. Number 1, there's this thing called March Madness happening now. And I don't even care if you like basketball, if the kids like basketball, it's just something that at least that's happening now. And I've seen some teachers really rock and roll with this. They use March Madness to talk about probability. They use it to talk about statistics. They use it to talk about colors of uniforms, whatever it is. But at least the kids know it's something that's happening now in their society. The other thing is Elon Musk just launched a Tesla Roadster in the space in the past 30 days. I think it's been the past 30 days. That's super relevant. Who launches a car into space? We could talk about space. We could talk about science. We could talk about marketing and branding, which I'm really jealous of. I don't have the funding to market my skills by launching a car into space. So there you go. Be relevant as possible. Let the kids know that, you know what? Mr. So-and-so, they know what's going on. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2. 3 letters. W-H-Y. Why? Why am I learning this? That's the number 2 way to get kids into whatever you're doing. We have to actually be upfront. Why do you need to know this? My parents, when I was growing up, and I asked this question all the time. I said, why, Mom? Why, Dad? Why must I do these things? And you've been there. You know what I'm talking about. And the answer they always gave me, and I'm pretty sure there was some kind of book that all the parents were reading at the time. The answer was, just because. You know, and that just didn't really cut it for me. As a child, it doesn't necessarily cut it for me as a student either. Yes, you have compliant kids, and they'll just do whatever you say just for the sake of doing it because they want to check the boxes and they want to make mom and daddy happy, and they're not going to ask why. But the truth is, if you can tell students why they're learning something, it brings tons of value to the classroom. Let me give you an example. Worksheets. There's like a onslaught war against worksheets right now, and some for really good reasons. So if you ever give a worksheet to students, you have to think of these things. Why am I giving this worksheet to students? Is it because it's relevant, it's super amazing, it's going to help the kids learn the concept I want them to learn? Or is it maybe because I like the smell of the paper, it lets me take a trip to the copy machine where they got the coffee, and I like doing stuff because it's comfortable. I've just always done worksheets. If that's the why, then maybe we should rethink the why. Because the kids need to know, why is it relevant? Why is this worksheet? Why is this thing that we're doing? Why is this poster project? Why is this technology? Why are we doing this project with all these Google apps? Why? We have to tell the kids why to make them buy in to whatever we're trying to sell them. That's number 2. 3. Number 3rd way. Number 3rd way? No. All right, guys, are ready for number 3? Here it comes. The 3rd way to bring more value to your classroom is to just try something new. Just try something new. Like opportunities for you not to always do well. You may fail at it. It may be fun. It may not be fun. But you're trying something new. And it doesn't even have to be about education. It could just be about personal development. It could just be about your soul. It could be about you getting outside, learning how to exercise, learning how to do basket weaving, how to fix cars, taking a road trip. Learn something new, because this is what it does. When you learn something new, it gives your brain new ways to connect with the curriculum that you're teaching. It gives you new ways to connect with the students and the lives that they're leading. It also gives you stories to tell. I can't tell you how many times I was sitting around the campfire, around the house with my family, and I tell a story and my wife goes, Brian, you've already told that story. And that makes me think, you know what, Brian? For one, I have a terrible memory, but number 2, it's time to go try some new things, because I want to have new stories to tell my kids, to let them know that it's okay to try new things. And even if you like to cook, you like to get on Pinterest and go crazy with that Pinterest stuff. You have a new recipe, you try it. and you bring it to school, you let the kids enjoy it, even if you don't even teach cooking. It's just something that you did to make your life more interesting. And that's what's going to separate us, my friend, from the robots that teach in the future, is that we have stories to tell, and those robots will not have any stories like we have. So there's 3 ways you can bring more value to the classroom. Try one today, guys.